Stupid people are ruining America.
A lot of conservatives love him. Many more don't know anything about him. Who is the straight-talking man who won a presidential straw poll in Florida? And what does it tell us about this election? This is the Citizen Link Report. Hi, I'm Stuart Shepard along with Tom Minery, the Executive Director of Citizen Link. Hi, Tom.
Hey, welcome back.
Let's talk about, it's good to be back. I've been gone. It seems like I left in June sometimes. I was gone so long. But I appreciate it. Thank you, Carrie, for filling in while I was out, and Tom and others for being so...
We made it, but we're glad to have you back.
It's good to be here. Let's talk about Herman Cain. He grew up in Georgia. He earned degrees in math and then a master's degree in computer science. He got a job at Pillsbury. He was wildly successful, eventually holding top-level leadership positions for Burger King and Godfather's Pizza. I'm hungry now, just talking about it. He's not exactly your typical presidential candidate, Tom.
Well, he's not. He's got a very good business pedigree, and people who like to tear him down say, well, he's a pizza guy. Well, for heaven's sakes. You gave a good recitation of his background. Undergraduate degree in mathematics from Morehouse College, graduate degree from Purdue in computer science. And then he became an analyst, a civilian analyst for the U.S. Navy in ballistics, which is the science and the mathematics of shooting things out of guns. And so the man is a smart guy, very analytical, rose up through the business world when he was of Coca-Cola, then Pillsbury, and they let him take over 400 failing Burger King stores in Philadelphia. I guess some of them were failing, but he turned them around. It became a very profitable group of stores for Pillsbury, and then because of that success, they made him CEO of Godfather's Pizza, and he made that profitable by downsizing.
It was headed for bankruptcy when he took it over.
Yeah, apparently it was. And so he turned it around by downsizing it, and then he and some investors bought Godfather's Pizza. And that was his business practice for a while, and then he became chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank in Kansas City. So the man has been around, has achieved some business success.
Now, he's known also for his sense of humor, sometimes a little irreverent, just to be honest about it, but he's also known for his ability to deliver an applause line. Here he is at CPAC, which is the nation's largest gathering of conservatives. This is from last spring. It's an event that we co-sponsor.
Talking about the liberals. They don't have a three tactics. They don't have a strategy. They have an objective. The objective of the liberals is to destroy this country. The objective of the liberals is to make America mediocre like everybody else who aspire to be like America. That's their objective.
So, Tom, he definitely doesn't pull any punches.
No, he doesn't. He's a very energetic speaker. He's he's got a booming voice, which is why he has become a very popular talk show host in the Atlanta area. And he is popular with people. And the reason we're talking about him this week is that a few days ago in the Florida straw poll, he shockingly beat the frontrunners, Mitt Romney and Rick Perry. He more than doubled the number of votes he got compared to them. And he did that by giving a wonderful speech that caused some people to tingle with excitement, inspiration about his ability to speak plainly. And then he stayed around, gave a lot of extemporaneous interviews and informal talks in the hallways before the straw poll, and he just wowed everybody. So he is gaining a lot of interest.
Now, he's also someone who's had a history of plain speech as it goes back in time. We're going to take you back now to a particular event, a particular conversation he had when he was CEO of Godfather's Pizza. This is back during the Clinton administration. And as the head of the National Restaurant Association, he was offered the opportunity during a town hall about Clinton's health care plan to ask a question, and he did. Well, it was a pretty sharp question, and President Clinton, as he was asking the question, did his classic rubbing of the eyebrow, which always says, oh no, I don't like where this is going, we now know years later. But the President, Clinton, tried to sweet talk him a bit after giving him a very misleading response. It was full of stats and whatnot that just took it a whole different direction. But then listen to how he tried to sweet talk him, and then Cain's reaction.
This man is raising a very important question in terms of employment. But what if all your competitors were just like you? Wouldn't you be able to do it then?
Okay, first of all, Mr. President, with all due respect, your calculation on what the impact would do, quite honestly, is incorrect. Let's take, for example, the fact that after I went through my calculations, your calculation or your example of the 6% or the 7.9, and in my case, it works out to 7.9%. Now, let's suppose that 30% of my costs are labor. What is one of the biggest misconceptions, sir, is the fact that a company like mine only makes between 1 and 3% of top-line sales. And because we have a large population of employees that we would like to cover, but simply the dynamics of our business will not allow us to do that under your proposed plan.
Let me ask you a favor. Would you send to me personally your calculations? Because I know we got to go on to other questions, but let me remind you,
So the look on President Clinton's face is certainly priceless, because he realized, I think, that he had just found someone who was as good at thinking on his feet as President Clinton.
Well, you hit it right on the head there, thinking on his feet. Can you imagine having a president respond to you with that kind of numerical intricacy, and then thinking on your feet, expound right back to Clinton why his analysis was wrong? That was masterful. And as a matter of fact, that clip is what brought Herman Cain to the attention of a lot of people and got him his talk show, and his career has bloomed since then.
And some say that was the beginning of the end for the Clinton health care plan.
Right. In fact, Newsweek magazine carried an analysis not long after that little interchange with the president that said this was the thing that showed everybody that there was no magic in the healthcare system numbers, that they could be disputed, and in fact they were being disputed in a town hall meeting by somebody who was fast enough to think on his feet and respond very well to the president.
And who was actually in business and knew exactly what the numbers of his business were, and said this is why. He added up the math for him. So Tom, it's important to point out, Herman Cain is one of 9 at this point. Perhaps the most telling image we've had so far of the debates that we've been seeing is this one. You've got this long line of 9 contenders at the Fox News debate. How do you see all this shaping up at this point? Where does Herman Cain fit in with the other 8?
It's still very early, and I think people like Herman Cain. When he was introduced at the debate where the shot we just showed came from, there was an immediate round of applause. When he described his stage 4 colon cancer several years ago, and the treatment, and the fact that it was a private health system that helped him, and had it been a government health system, he would not have been able to get his CAT scan test in time to save his life.
Wow.
And when he recited all of that, there was immediate applause. So I think he warmed up the audience at the same time that Mitt Romney and Rick Perry were going at each other, as they have been doing in recent debates. And so he set himself apart, and I think that helped get that wonderful response in the straw poll that vaulted him ahead of Perry and Romney, both of whom I think are still leaders because of their gravitas, because of their background, because of their government service. Herman Cain is a little bit unknown as far as government involvement. He ran for a brief time for the Republican presidential nomination way back in the year 2000. He recognized that George Bush was the candidate who was going to prevail, and so he dropped out. He ran for the U.S. Senate seat from Georgia, the one it was an open seat, and he did not prevail in a primary. So he's been trying to launch a political career, and this is obviously the farthest that he's gotten. But I think this nomination process has a long way to go. It has months and months of debates and grassroots work. So we'll see if this is just a bloom and a fade, or if this vaulting forward as he did will have some legs to it.
And to paraphrase something else Herman Cain said at CPAC, it's that people need to be informed. You can't be uninformed during this cycle of election. It's important for us all to know who's who, where they stand, and to try to pick out candidates that resonate with us.
Well, that's right. As I've said before, this group of candidates is the most articulate, the most experienced group that I have ever seen trying for the Republican Party's nomination. In the past, I have hoped that somebody wouldn't trip over his tongue in a particular answer or tangle up a response, and These people are very, very sharp. They're very experienced, and I'm impressed by all of them.
All right, I'm checking my email here. Appreciate all your comments, but I did want to share something with you. We got an email from one of the folks who watches our videos here, and she's commenting about something she thinks we might want to look into for a news item, which we'll be doing. But then at the end, she writes this P.S., Tom. I just wanted to share it with you. She says, P.S., I'm not good. This is Nancy, by the way. She says, I'm not good with names, but I'm missing Tom Minnery's sidekick, Blue Shirt Guy. Oh, I'd know his name if I heard it. It seems Kerry has replaced him. Well, nothing against Kerry. She does well, but I hope all is well and that if he departed from the ministry, it was on good terms. Is there something I need to know?
Well, apparently you wear blue shirts for every one of these videos. That's fine with me because I stay away from them so we don't look like the Blue Man Group. But if you want to capture blue shirts, it's all yours.
It's my signature color, you know.
All right.
Hey, we always appreciate hearing from you. We do read every note that comes in. You may always write to us at mail@citizenlink.com. Please pray for the country as we move into this election season, and especially those who are running for the presidency, and for all the folks who will be deciding which of these folks we want to rise to the top and which one will have a shot on the Republican side and the Democrat side at being the next president of the United States. Remember to pray for the country and remember to stand tall and be heard.